The next conspiracy is the Ed and Eddy priority theory, which states that everyone in the neighborhood actually died in different time period and was sent to roam the cul-de-sac of Peach Creek estates, the land they once lived in their former lives. This theory is quite interesting because behind an innocent and a happy setting, there lies each character's dark and gloomy past. The first to die was Ralph, a son of a shepherd who lived with his family at their farm. Not only he was the first to die, he was the first to live in the land that would be later known as the cul-de-sac. In 1903, Ralph was trampled to death by his bull who broke out of the cage. He took his farm animals even after death and still takes care of them and his farming duties on a daily basis. Right after Ralph's death, Johnny and his family moved into the farmer that Ralph's family used to own. In an attempt to compensate for the lack of friends and absence of free time he had, Johnny created Plank, who would stay with him for the rest of his life. After years of fighting tuberculosis, Johnny died in 1922 and took his friend Plank with him in the afterlife. Eddy was born in New York but moved to the neighborhood in 1932 as it had begun to start forming from many families moving into the building. Because it was during the Great Depression, Eddy became a scammer in order to get away from the sad truth that he was living in. However, in 1939, an inevitably brought him to his death when he drowned in a river while trying to run away from a group of children that were trying to get revenge on Eddy after falling for his tricky. Sarah and Ed were born in the late 40s when the cul-de-sac started to take form from the popular replanned developments in the post-war era. While growing up in WW2, they had different ways to escape the brutal reality of a working mother who was never home and a dead GI. Sarah became controlling in order to let everyone know that she was the one who was in charge. On the other hand, Ed shut out from the world and got involved in comics and movies. Their death was caused by a car accident while driving to their grandparents' house. A flower child, Naz, was born in the 60s during the hippie era. Growing up as a beautiful girl, she always flirted with the boys and lived carelessly. However, in the summer of 1979, a serial killer escaped from an asylum and broke into Naz's house. Her whole family was murdered after Naz was raped and killed. In the afterlife, Naz chose to completely forget about her family, which is why she does anything she wants because she has no parental figure. Double D was born under two controlling parents who, even after death, greatly influenced his life. He followed their footsteps intentionally, but became rather shy and timid. In 1986, a gas leak occurred while Double D was experimenting and caused an explosion which blew him and his house together. Kevin was born on the day of Double D's death from a drunken and abused father. In order to relieve his stress caused by his father, he bullied other children. In 1999, Kevin tried to stand against his father, but was beaten and dead while getting transported to the hospital. In Kevin's afterlife, Kevin altered his dad's personality to being a loving and caring one. However, Kevin still retains his bully tendencies. Jimmy was last to join the kids when he died from leukemia in 2000. Before his death, Jimmy lived in Kevin's old house under his overprotective parents, who never let him out to play with the kids. As his days passed by, Jimmy stayed in his small bedroom, fighting with his illness. The Canker sisters, however, are daughters of the devil sent from to torture the lost souls. This is very possible because they have an ability to show up anywhere and in instant and are able to overpower the children. Their attractions to the Eds may be because they have the weakest wills out of all the children in the neighborhood.
You got me jumping like